This is gonna be a get ready with me as I get ready to tackle the day. But I just washed my hair and I need to oil my scalp before this shit get dry on your boy. But that ain't what I'm talking about today. Today I'm talking about how straight A's in school ruin my life. I gotta wait like a certain amount of time before I start cussing. I think it's like 15 seconds. And fuck! Anyway, yeah, man. Being a straight A student ruined my motherfucking life. And I'll tell you how. And this is also a reason why you probably should not be, you know what I'm saying? Let the tat show a little bit. Yeah. Y'all never see this angle. Fat ass neck right here. Actually, ain't no fat, whatever. Anyway, so straight A's ruined my life. Why? Because simple version is forcing your kid to be a straight A student is going to turn them into a perfectionist. Know what I mean? That nigga teasy on there. It's so telling your kid to get straight A's is basically gonna turn them into a perfectionist, and over time, they gonna become afraid to fail at shit. So that's one thing that happened to me for sure. Like, I would get my ass whooped if I brought home a B. So that might be more on the extreme side. So it's probably me and like the little Asian kids that couldn't get no fucking B's. But I carried that with me like all the way through school. So all through school, straight A's, all the way up till college, man. Graduated with honors, all that good shit. Didn't do a fucking thing for me. I did get a scholarship. I had an academic scholarship to Jackson State, the Jackson State University. But I picked a stupid ass major, so whatever. And I still ended up owing money, man. Even though I had a full ride, that shit crazy. But anyway, yeah, forcing your kid to be a straight A student is gonna turn them into a perfectionist, which is gonna hinder your growth all through your life, because you're gonna be afraid to try new shit, because you're gonna be afraid to fail at the new shit that you try. So you pretty much gonna be in this cautious state all the time where you only try things that you know you can excel at. And I'm doing good, John. I'm doing good. But yeah, man, like you get into your mind like all right, imagine taking a test. Like I was pretty comfortable testing, just because after a while, if we being honest, you start to figure out, if you're not fucking retarded, you start to figure out the American school system is a joke, and we are way behind where we should be. So I think I first picked up on this in like the 3rd or 4th grade. Like I remember I was so far ahead in my math, like I would just keep going, like especially like book work, like back in the days when that shit said arithmetic on the fucking front. I don't know if it still do, but yeah, ask your kids today if they know what arithmetic is. But yeah, like I would go ahead, and I will say being a straight A student did make me fall in love with learning shit, just because you have to like learning in order to excel in school to a degree. Like I said, American school system kind of a joke. Like it don't really take much to pass. That's why I've never been a huge fan of like C is an average student. That's not average at all. C is average for a motherfucker that's not trying. That's what C really means. Like, if you actually try, it shouldn't be that hard for you to get straight A's, honestly. Like, at least A's and B's. Like, if you get straight C's, that means your kid probably has average intelligence and he just don't give a fuck about school. Now, if you're trying as hard as you can and a C is the best you can do, you probably fucking stupid. Like, but that's a video for another day. But I don't know if y'all noticed, but C students kind of run the world. So don't be ashamed if you was one of them dumbass students where you was just struggling just to get a C on a test or on your homework, even with your parents, and they was probably stupid too. So like, that's not a bad thing. Like, both my parents both went to college, so which is why they kind of stressed like the whole straight A shit. And it was more so my mama than my pops. My pops, he knew what was up. Now, he knew grades didn't fucking matter. Like, I seen this nigga report cards only because I remember one day I needed help with some math homework. He was an engineer. So obviously I'm like, well, the best person to ask would be the nigga that took Calc 5. So he was at work at the time. So I'm just sitting in the living room waiting for him to get home. My mama was like, oh, I can help you. And I was like, nah, that's cool. I'm gonna just wait for daddy to get home. And she's like, oh, what, you think I ain't smart enough? You think he's smarter than me? And I was like, yes. Yes, I do. That's why I'm waiting for that nigga to get home. And then she went out of her way, like the spitefulness of this. She went out of her way, went to the basement, dug through a bunch of old ass paperwork, found this nigga's report cards from college, and just so she can show me, just so she can show me that this motherfucker was barely passing his classes. And I didn't say this to her face, but all I could think was, the nigga passed though. Not only that, I think she majored in like, probably same shit I majored in, like business administration or some BS degree. So I'm like, he got a better degree than you, and he making more money with his job. So why the fuck would I care that he barely passed his class? I was like, you showing me these C's and occasionally a D here and there don't make you smarter than him. But the fact she thought like that, that's how a lot of people think now. And that's how a lot of y'all parents thought. That's why they told you, oh, make sure you do good in school, get straight A's and blah, 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 blah. Like, you think that really means shit. That also kind of explains that psychology. Like, a lot of women in general with college degrees think they smart because they have a college degree, even though a lot of them pick majors that were easy as fuck. So, but I'll talk about that in another video, if y'all want me to. But anyway, I grew up in that type of household, right? Say the least. And yeah, man, I always felt that pressure to be smart, and not just smart. Like, I had to be the smartest motherfucker in my class because a lot of other people had the same parents I had. So these motherfuckers telling their kids they got to get straight A's too, or they coming home to an ass whooping. So we all trying to get straight A's for the most part. Normally it's like I don't know, this back in the days, classes was big as fuck, like 30, 40 kids. So I'd say 10 to 15 kids that were getting like straight A's consistently in every class. As the classes got smaller, obviously that number got smaller too. And it'd normally be me, maybe one or two other dudes like my homeboys, and then the rest would be all girls. Cause like I said, women care about that stupid shit. But yeah, man, growing up like that, it made me super cautious as far as taking risks, just because that mentality of, if I don't do this 100% right, something bad gonna happen. And I have to, even to this day, like, I still gotta kind of trick myself out of that fucking mind state, just because the only way you progress, well, the fastest way to progress through life, is to do a bunch of random shit, fuck it up, learn from that mistake, and then get better at whatever that thing is. That's how you progress. Now, as I got older, I learned that I could just learn from other people's mistakes, which is probably something good to do as another perfectionist. Dude, Eudoro treatment. Exactly, man. That's straight up Eudoro treatment. But yeah, man, so like I had to learn that like making mistakes is actually a good thing, because the lessons you learn from your own mistakes, they stick a lot harder in your brain and you remember them a lot better. Like, I can learn from other people's mistakes. Like, I can watch a bunch of YouTube videos, I can read a bunch of books, and I'll just have the knowledge of how to do something. But it's not the same as actually doing it. And once you do it yourself and fuck it up, because you probably will if it's something that's actually substantial and mildly difficult, then you learn from that and then you get better at it. And the reason I say that shit ruined my life is because like I literally spent most of my life living in fear of fucking shit up. So like that whole paralysis by analysis, like I study every fucking thing. Like even to this day. Like I little ass decisions, bro. Like I could be going to the grocery store and I'll end up being in there for an extra hour because I'm on fucking ChatGPT asking. I'm like, yo, what's the best type of apple to buy if I want to make an apple pie? You know what I mean? I'll be in there and I'll just get stuck researching apples for 20 fucking minutes just because I don't want to pick the wrong apples and end up with a subpar apple pie, even though pie is fucking pie and it don't matter. But yeah, like, so I still got that shit in me, and I don't know if I'll ever not have that shit in me. But I will say I'm not gonna say I'm no longer a perfectionist just because yesterday I spent probably 6 hours at the library mixing this song, and man, bro, I'm like paying attention to little tweaks that motherfuckers can't even hear on a song, like random echoes or this one frequency that's bothering me just because I got this shit listening in certain earphones at a certain volume. Then I take it to the car and I'm like, damn, it don't sound exactly like this other song that I'm referencing. And like I'll just get stuck in that loop, and that shit frustrating as hell, man. Like putting a bunch of time and effort into something and then getting it wrong. Like I fucking hate that shit. And I wish I didn't have that in me, or at the very least, like my parents put all that effort into something that actually fucking mattered, like, and not just grades. Like I think back to that Michael Jackson movie, bro. Like if my parents were like, hey, you gonna make a #1 hit or I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass, like do that. Like that would have actually helped me in the long run. You know what I mean? Like I know we see a lot of celebrities complain about not having a childhood and shit. You know what? When I go back and think about my childhood, I can't remember 90 fucking percent of it. So like, so as far as I'm concerned, I ain't have a childhood either. And guess what? I ain't fucking rich. I ain't famous. I'm just a regular ass dude. So like, I'm going through the same shit they going through with 1% of their success. So yeah, man, I just it sucks. It sucks. And anybody else, like in the comments, let me know if y'all suffer from this whole like perfectionist mind state, just because that shit sucks to have, bro. And it's hard to shake, especially like the older you get. Like even going along with that, like even when I try to branch out and try new shit, as soon as I fuck up, I can't just continue with whatever I'm doing. Like my whole brain just, it can't handle continuing through pushing past the fuck up. Like my only recourse is I gotta start all over from scratch. And I do that shit all the time. Like right now, I'm supposed to be starting this fast, this water fast. Generally I do 30 days. It was supposed to start yesterday. And I made it through the whole day, like a solid 24 hours. And then like around 11 o'clock midnight, I was like, you know what? That hunger kind of hitting your boy. So I end up eating like some ramen or some shit. And so that quick broke that fast. And I could just start over from there, continue, because like I said, that was like 11 o'clock midnight, so it's already been about 12 hours. So I'm halfway to another 24 hours. I can just start over today. But my mind is saying, hey, look, you already fucked it up. Might as well keep eating. So I might end up going getting like a burger or some shit and then starting over tonight, tomorrow. But yeah, that's just how my brain thinks, bro. Like I can't push past messing something up. Like I gotta just completely start over from scratch. Just because in my mind, it has to be right from beginning to end. Like I don't like doing something, messing it up, working through that, and then finally getting to the result. Even though the times I have done that, it did feel pretty good to finally figure shit out. But I don't know, mentally, it's just that mental block there that my parents put there that I gotta fight every fucking day. So that's why like I do impulsive things sometimes. So like I talked about this before. When I went to Africa, that was impulsive as fuck. Like I didn't do hardly any research before I went over there, just because I knew that was gonna prolong me actually making the trip. So I just said, fuck, as soon as I got the money, looked up a plane ticket, bought that bitch. Locked in. No refund, no refundable ticket, nothing. So I was like, cool, once the ticket's bought, I gotta go. I gotta just do it. I did the same thing when I started riding motorcycles, man. Like I kind of just had to force myself into the position I eventually wanted to be in, so I couldn't back out. So like growing up, I hated wasting money. And that's part of that perfectionism, because it's like I don't want to bust my ass at work for money and then use that money to buy something that I'm gonna eventually regret buying. That's why I research so much before I buy something. But now I try to just be a little bit more impulsive. So like as soon as I see some shit I want, I just say fuck it and I buy it most of the time, depending on what it costs. Like I'm not dropping, 10, 15, 20 bands or something, even though I did do that with my car. And I don't regret that purchase at all, even though most of the videos y'all watch of me having car problems. But this is 10, almost 15 years later since I bought this bitch. So 15 years is a good run on a used car. So I ain't mad. I ain't mad at all. This got me to a lot of places. As a matter of fact, I made more money with my car than I lost fixing it. So, that impulse buy, I don't regret. What else? Oh yeah, I was talking about my motorcycle. My first bike, I don't regret that buy. I don't regret that either. Even though I had it in the shop for a little minute, and it was just some simple shit. But I kind of forced myself to buy the bike because I bought my helmet and my jacket first. And I bought those a year, almost 2 years before I bought the actual bike. Just because like I said, I don't like wasting money. So that helmet and jacket was a couple $100. And this was 10 years ago. So back then, a couple $100 for, somebody fresh out of college. I was broke. You know what I mean? And then I didn't have I couldn't back out, basically, in my mind. I was like, look, I already spent the money on a helmet and jacket. I have to buy a bike now. And I did. Like, as soon as I got the opportunity, fuck it, I bought that bitch. And so I went to what about, I put that shit off Craigslist or some shit. And anyway, but yeah, man, that perfectionist shit, bro, I just gotta work past that. I'm sure I'm not the only person dealing with being a perfectionist, but yeah, I just gotta, yeah, I don't know, I ain't got nothing else. That's it for today. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow.